Today I'm going to teach you how to do some lashing. This is going to be the first in a 3 little video series of how to make teepee shelters, and I prefer teepees. We'll go over some other shelters and how to make those, but we're going to start with the lashing, which is the first and very most important part of building a shelter, because if you can't make it stand up, it's not going to be much of a shelter, is it? And there's A-frames and other shelters that work really, really well, and I'm not saying that the teepee is the best one. It's just personally my favorite. Alright, what you're going to need, and I'm only using shorter sticks because I already used the longer ones that I have to build a bigger one. I'll show you that in a little bit. But you're going to want 3 sticks is what I use, and I mean you could use 4, 5, 6, however many you want. But 3 is typically what I like to use. And you're going to want sticks that are about the same size, obviously, and they need to be able to sit pretty close together. The closer together, the better. So that's why straight is really a good thing, but that'll do just fine for the video's sake. And you're going to want some paracord. That's what I prefer. There's a lot of different natural stuff that you can use. Some string will work, but blackberry vines, dogwood bark, and cedar bark works really well, but it's tedious to make. And I don't have a very long piece because I use the rest of it on the bigger version, which I'll show you here in a minute. But the way you want to get started is you're going to want to do some way of tying a noose. I prefer the real simple one where you make a loop like that, and then you take it, you bring it around, and then you wrap it back up under, and you pull tight, and you have a little loop right there. And then you take the other end and you just run it through, and that'll pull tight, and that'll hold really, really well. And then you put it over the sticks like that, and you pull it tight. And this is going to be a really quick example of how to do this, and kind of ghetto because you would probably be using a lot more paracord. But you do a wrap around like that, and then you want to come and bring it under the first one and over the top to where it kind of brings it down and holds it tight to where it doesn't come loose. And then you would want to do a couple of those. Really, you can get away with one, but the more you do it, the better off it's going to be. And you got that, and then you want to come over to the other one and do the same thing. And you really don't want a lot of like these branch sections of lumps in the top part, because it'll make it hard to get your string through like you need it to. And then once you got a couple of those, you would go back over the top like that and come back around and tie it off. But I'm going to tie it off right here since I don't really have enough to do multiple ones. But you want those cross sections tight, like covered up pretty well, and it'll hold. But this will work for right now, just for the demonstration. And then once that's lashed together, and assuming you got it tied real well, you'll have a little tripod teepee. Obviously I couldn't sleep in this. My dog probably could, but yeah, that's too small. But just an example, and it's real sturdy. I mean, you can get it, it won't come across. Even with this real quick version, it's held together pretty good. And that's how you get your sticks to stand up. And now I'll show you a little bit bigger version. I pulled back the tarp so you could see it. It would typically be tied on, but that's what a better version looks like. And this is much sturdier. And I also have one side done up to where that's just so that when the wind blows, it won't blow the sides in on you, to make it a little more comfortable. You don't have to do that. I personally like doing that. I took the paracord from the other side because I ran out building this one because I used too much for the lashing up top. But that's a story for another time. And in the next video, I'll show you how to tie the tarp on and stuff like that, and the kind of scenarios you really want to look for when you're setting up your shelter, because this is not the prime spot. If it rains, the water's going to come down and leak into that, and you're going to get soaked. And the wind's actually blowing towards my back into the shelter, which is not a good thing, because when you're setting up these shelters, yeah, you don't want the wind blowing into the door flap. But I'll get into that more in the next video. But that's how to lash. And we'll take one more look at this, show you it's pretty sturdy. Shake it around, it's not going to come loose. I took a bit more time in selecting my sticks and doing the lashing on that one. But that's lashing. And if you like this video, give it a like, and give me some ideas on some other stuff in the other 2 videos or 1 video, just depending on how it goes, will be up soon.